CBS Smacktalkers Fantasy Football. Today we're going to have live our very own Commissioner Big Bullies talk to us about certain issues as far as the fantasy draft, draft order, as well as picks, as well as everything that's happened throughout the whole entire league offseason. And here we have our Commissioner Big Bullies.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to year 4 of Smacktalkers. I'm excited for this year. A couple of changes this year, so I just want to make sure I address a couple of things, and we take it from there. First and foremost, we're going to start with the draft date. The draft date is going to be 8/29 at 3:30 sharp. At 3:15, we will start picking the draft order, and then we're going to take it from there. This year, we will not have any phone drafts. Everyone will be here, and I will also have a backup team. Just in case someone is not here, they will be replaced. So, giving you a heads up, next year or this year, there is no playing around. You're not on time, you will get skipped. You have 4 weeks to get ready, so let's get this started. First, let's go off with our fees. Our fees for this year is going to be $140 at the draft. The draft, that $140 breaks down to $129 towards the pot and $11 towards the league fee. I just want everybody to be aware of that breaks down to actually $1,806. Out of that $1,806, first place is going to get $1,000, with second place getting $500 and third place getting $206. Some of you that could count is going to say there's $100 missing. Out of that $100 is going to go to the highest scorer. Okay? Then this year we're also implementing another rule. The rule is going to be there's a $2 transaction fee and a $4 trade. You say, why $4? $2 per person, which basically makes all transactions $2 a piece. Now, the transaction fees, the way that's going to work is at the end of the year, that money, $125, is going to be taken and put to the side for next year's pot or next year's league fees, and then we could use more money for the winner or whoever that may be. In addition to that, whatever is remaining after that is going to be divided 50, 30, 20 between first, second, and third place. The next thing that I would like to address is the dues. When is everything due? Your $140 is due before week 2 starts. Okay? That means that you have to give it to myself, and on a side note, there is a new treasurer this year. That treasurer will be Mr. Olatoye, aka Mr. Matt Mittens, aka Mr. Niner Nation. Okay? So you could either come to myself and give your money, or you could drop it off to Mr. Mittens and he will take care of that for you. So $140 is due before week 2. Before the starting of week 13, all transaction fees are due. Once again, to one of the 2 players. Actually, one of the 3 players, because you could also give it to last year's appointed Vice President, Mr. Akambi. Not Joey, John Akambi. Joey, I wish you the best. In addition to that, the trade deadline is week 10. With week 10, there is another due, which basically means you have to put all your money into the pot and give it to one of the 3 players and take it from there. Playoffs start week 14, 15, and 16. So our league will be ending week 16. So all money is due by that time. If you do not have your money in, there's 6 players that make it to the playoffs. The number 6 player hasn't made it, hasn't paid his dues, he gets bumped. And the number 7th player actually makes it to the playoffs instead of that number 6. Okay? Another thing that I want to address is some new changes that we did. Or one of them being, you get 2 points for every block field goal, or 2 points for every block extra point attempt. This year we will also be implementing the individual touchdown returns for specific players. So basically, if you have a wide receiver that is doing a punt return, he scores a touchdown, you will get the 6 points for that touchdown. The next thing that I would like to address will be a sore subject in my something that I did not agree with or didn't really like, but it went through last year, so I want it on the table so that everyone's aware. And that is going to be the trades that were posted from last year to this year. Mr. Mike and Cornell traded first round picks. So basically, Mike will not have a first round pick, but will have 2 second round picks. In addition to that, Cornell will have 2 first round picks. And he also was given a 5th round pick to Mike for that first round pick. So basically it was a two rounds for 1. The next trade was, once again, Mr. Mike with Matt for a 7th round pick. The next one, coincidence, Mr. Mike again with John this time for a 6th round pick. And last but not least was John and Cornell for a 2nd round pick. So now, basically that breaks down to Mike having 2 2nd round picks, 2 6th round picks, 2 5th round picks, and 2 7th round picks. Okay, so everyone's aware of those trades that went down. That's something that went down last year that will not happen again this year or at all. The next issue that I would like to address is, so a lot of people were complaining about having certain teams having 7 quarterbacks on their team and only playing 2 of them the whole year, but just trying to keep roster space. So we're going to reduce the roster space this year to only 4 reserves. I think that will make everything a little better. More players are on the draft, on the roster, and that means that you have to pay if you really want them on your team. Okay? Now, last but not least will be, actually, that is it. All my notes are taken care of. Make sure I wanted to address everything for you. Is there any questions?
Yes, Commish, we would like to ask, what is your take on what happened in this league last year, and what comments do you have for us on that?
Well, as far as last year, one of the sore subjects was basically those ridiculous trades that are going to be taking place this year. I feel that they're not really valid, but I'm a man of my word, and I said that I would let it ride, so it is going to ride. Last year was a very funny year. We had Tonka Toy, a.k.a. Illin, talk so much smack, actually start off to a great season, and then lose, if I'm not mistaken, 6 out of the last 7 games, and still made it into the playoffs. Good run for him, but too bad Mr. Popcorn took the cake. Another issue from last year was basically, I feel that the smack talking started and ended, and it really didn't go the way that I wanted it, but to each his own. I heard that there's a new Rosetta Stone being sent to one of the teams. No pun intended to anyone, but I heard Rosetta Stone and the dictionaries will be sent out to certain players. Next question.
Yes, Commish again. After talking about last year, what is your take on what is going to happen in this league this year? Especially, some of the people that were not as competitive, we're replacing them, and it looks like there's going to be better competition. What do you think we have to look forward to this new season in the Smack Talker League?
Well, this year, I feel that it's actually going to be a more competitive year. I have 2 new teams coming in. 2 teams were replaced. Steel is gone, and Bats is gone, being replaced by 2 teams to be named at the draft. Make it a little more interesting. No one knows who's playing. This year, I feel that I'm going to make one comment. Make sure you do your homework, because it is going to be a hard draft this year. I look forward to this year.
Good. I know we're talking fantasy football right now, but I know you're a fan of the actual game, the NFL that's being played. So, there's been a couple of storylines in the news recently. The Jets not giving the right due amount of money to Darrelle Revis, the whole T.O. going to Cincy, How about anyone's not packing the physical? My grandmother could pass. You know, what is your look on the way of things in the actual NFL right now?
Well, I feel that the NFL basically has a whole lot of babies. Everyone's crying about this and that. Fellas, y'all getting paid all this money. Do what you gotta do. It's your job. I'll trade your job for mine any day. Work a 9 to 5. You basically go to practice and you play a game on a Sunday. And that's all you gotta do all freaking week. Like, get over it. Stop crying. Hainsworth, your fat ass, you're getting paid all this money. You should be able to run this. As you said, the interviewer said, his grandmother could pass it. My grandmother could pass it, and she's 98 years old. She could run whatever you want. T.O., hey, congratulations. I hope you actually make it. It's going to be interesting to see you and Ocho Cinco on the opposite side. But regardless of the fact, you got to come through the Jets. Speaking of the Jets, Revis Island, we will be taking care of that. Regardless of the fact, all teams have to come see Revis Island. And we will make sure that Revis is happy before the year starts.
And one last question, Commish. You know, they keep talking about the CBA, and there might be a lockout next year. There might be no NFL. What are we gonna do now if there's no fantasy football next year? What are we gonna have to look forward to for 4 months from August till January?
Well, if there is no league next year, we might come up with our own league. I think we have 14 players. We might do a little 7-on-7 and have our own fantasy. Who's going to be scoring what? I know that I heard that Joey can't play any football, so I'll make sure that he's on the opposite team from I am. Matt is a big football fan, so I'll make sure that he's blocking for me. And I got a couple of eyes on other players that I might make sure that I'm drafting.
Okay. Thank you, Commish. I think you've given us all the point.
Oh, wait. I see someone is walking in the room. Give me 1 second, please. Holy shit! It's year 4! And we're about to have a great season this year. Smack talking? I hope y'all two bastards that can't spell got some dictionaries, because if not, I got some in my library, okay? And those other players, congratulations to Popcorn. You actually backed your shit up, and congratulations to you. As far as I keep hearing something about trades from last year, these guys, Mike, do you really need to make those trades to fucking win? You didn't learn your lesson. You're 0 for 4 in the last 4 years in all freaking fantasy leagues. You haven't won shit.
That's a lie!
Oh, hey, how you doing? Well, regardless, he's not really important right now. I want to address another player. Another player is Mr. Miami Vengeance. Mr. Miami Vengeance, you talk so much shit. Dude, pick a sport that you actually know. Now I hear that you're playing poker. You don't even know what the hell you're doing. Please, you want to give your money away? I got a fund that you could put it into, okay? I have a child. She would love to take your money in any sport. She's actually good at poker, so she might take yours. Until next time, I will see you, Mr. Get the Facts Straight.
Ray took on the date with the purple tape, passed on the